In this video, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to create a graph using a software program called GeoGebra. Now, this is a freeware graphing software program that you can easily use and access it on your computer. So we will type up in the address box of your browser www.geogebra.org. This is their opening window. We're going to go to Ready for Tests and then come down to GeoGebra Classic. This is an easy little graphing program that will show you how to create different types of graphs. So the first graph that we want to put in is the first one on your list, and it says y equal x. Now we never have to put the y equal, that's understood, so we'll just put our x. And there you will see our graph. Now, how would we describe this graph? Well, it starts in the bottom left quadrant, which we call the third quadrant. It passes through the origin, which is point 0, 0, and it continues in a straight line into the first quadrant. So we could say that's a diagonal line passing through the origin, going from the third quadrant to the first quadrant. So you could stop me now and write that in your box. All right, let's continue to the next one. And it says x to the exponent 2. So we still have our x, so we'll leave that. Now we need to add exponent. To do that, you're going to hit the shift and the key above the 6. Not 6, shift and the key. You have to hold both at the same time. And now we want to type a 2. We get a different shape. Now, if any one of you knows this shape, it's called a parabola. But if you don't know that, we'll just call it a U shape. It extends from the second quadrant, turns at the origin, 0, 0, and increases in the first quadrant. So you could describe it as a U shape coming down from the second quadrant, turning at the origin, and increasing in the first quadrant. All right. Now, let's move on to the next one, and we'll do x to the exponent 3. Oh, this is another interesting one. How would we describe this? Well, we know that it's coming from the third quadrant. It's moving to the first quadrant, and it's passing through the origin. But what happens is it comes up to the origin, a little before the origin. It kind of travels along the x-axis and then continues to increase. So we would say in the third quadrant, it's coming from the bottom towards the origin. It travels along the x-axis at the origin, and then it increases again in the first quadrant. Okay, let's try one more. So we're going to remove the 3 and remove the to the exponent. And now we're going to remove the x, and we'll type 4x minus 1. Now, let's describe this graph. We know that it does not pass through the origin, but it does pass through -1. The point where the graph crosses the x-axis is called the y-intercept. So we would say that this graph has a y-intercept of -1. But what else do we know? Well, if we look at point A at 0, -1, and then we're going to look at the point at 1, 3. Okay, this point is 1, 3, and this point is 0, 1. So what do we know? If you move up the y-axis 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, we could say that it has gone up 4 units and it has gone over 1 unit. So that would be its characteristic. So to move, it has a slope of 4 over 1. Slope means how much it went up and how much it went over. Okay, so let's review that. We can say that the y-intercept is at -1, right here, -1, and that the slope, it went up 4 and over 1. Now the reason I picked 0, -1 and 1, 3 is those are easy points to see and easy points to work with. Now, let's go down the list, and I want you to continue using this software package and fill in a description for all the graphs that are given once you have viewed it here in your GeoGebra. Let me know if you have any questions or need any more help.